How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading, whether price is going up or down. U.S. government organization CFPB issues warning about cryptocurrencies, names altcoin projects. The U.S. Bureau for Protection has issued a warning for financial risks associated with video game virtual worlds, especially those with crypto. They are mainly calling out Decentraland and Sandbox and how they are using assets that can be sold for dollars. So their main concern is that you can make money by playing a game. Breaking: Do Kwon found liable for fraud in SEC incited lawsuit. So following a 2-week-long trial in New York, the court came to a conclusion that Do Kwon and Terra Lab misled investors in the event that lost $40 billion in crypto when they collapsed. It was discovered that Kwon and Terra Labs made a false claim that popular Korean payment appreciation Chai made transactions using Terra Labs blockchain technology. Additionally, jurors noted that investors were not duly informed about the USDT stablecoin issues. The SEC has asked the jury for finding of liability, and the court awarded civil penalties to the defendants. This will include payments of ill-gotten gains and prejudgment interest. Over on the Dixie for the daily, we are trying to push down. We did try to run up and we got invalidated. If we cannot continue forward, this could be a long upper shadow candle, which shows buyers tried to push us up and sellers are starting to gain control and they want to bring us lower. That could be a break of this support if we're not careful. Stochastic, our double line, is starting to fall down with our orange above blue. RSI is weakening, momentum is rounding away, VWAP is breaking into the bearish territory, and our money flow wants to break bearish as well. If our VWAP remains in this bearish territory, we will see momentum continue to weaken, and our money flow could flip trends. That would be positive for the crypto market, as when the Dixie sells off, crypto typically increases. Remember, our VWAP is this yellow wave. As this yellow wave weakens, our momentum, our blue wave, can pick up strength or weaken depending on direction of VWAP. If VWAP's weakening, momentum will weaken. If momentum continues to weaken, money flow, our red or green wave, will flip depending on if it's above or below zero. And if momentum is selling off, money flow will pick up bearish steam, just like here. So over on the 4-hour, our VWAP does want to break bearish, momentum wants to round away, money flow is pulling away for neutral, and our stochastic could start to round away. If our VWAP continues to pull back and breaks this bearish territory, then we see it favor. We could see momentum pull back, and money flow could remain in the bearish territory, bringing us lower on the daily over time. Over on the 2-hour, our stochastic does want to pull back. We do have orange above blue. RSI is weakening. Momentum wants to round away. VWAP is getting a lower low. If we continue below this neutral, we will see our VWAP remain more bearish, and our money flow will start to pull back as our momentum will pull back as well. Over on this 1-hour, we did get a pretty quick spike up, and then we dropped down pretty quick as well. Stochastic is starting to sell off. We have a bearish divergence that formed on that spike. RSI wants to pull back, VWAP is favoring the bearish territory, our money flow is in the bearish territory, and the momentum does want to come down. If our VWAP continues to favor bearish, we will see momentum break, and money flow will continue to push out. Over on the daily, for total, we are starting to pull back. We have a manipulation X. If we continue to sell off here, we could see a rejection of these EMAs, and that could be a bearish cross. That could give us some bearish momentum to push us toward this golden pocket area on our Fibonacci retracement zone. Remember, we cover that in the Mastering the Trade series, how to set them up and how to get the golden pocket. RSI is pulling back, momentum is pulling back, we have bearish momentum. If with this bearish divergence continues to bring us down, we could see a drop lower. This could be that double top and we could break down still. VWAP is in the bearish territory. We do want to push forward, but we are struggling. If the VWAP gets a lower high, we could start to favor bearishly here and see further decline in price. Over on the 4-hour, we are attempting to make a flag here, so that's pretty interesting considering the Dixie wants to make a flag as well. We will have to see if Bitcoin is pushing forward. Stochastic does want to push up, RSI is rounding away, VWAP is trying to break into the bullish territory, but if we break back into the bearish territory, we could solidify lower highs with lower lows. That would create a bearish trend. The momentum would then trend out, and our money flow could then break bearish. If that happens, we could see this 4-hour push us lower. Over on the 2-hour, we did reject this EMA. Stochastic tried to run forward. RSI is going flat, so the stochastic rounds away here. Our RSI could pick up bearish steam. VWAP does want to pull back. We have lower highs with lower lows. If this continues, momentum will favor more bearish, and our money flow will get a break to the downside. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic has bearish divergence. RSI wants to trend down. Momentum is rounding away with a manipulation dot. If our VWAP breaks down, momentum will continue lower, and that money flow could reject crossing bullish and solidify a new bearish trend to bring us down. So I would watch that hourly closely. If it remains bearish, we will see the other time frames push down as well. So Bitcoin dominance did push forward. We are trying to hit near that value area high, much like we said, but we could be pulling back here if we're not careful. Watch the other indicators, watch our other patterns, watch all the coins combined. RSI wants to pull back, stochastic could round away, momentum is running up, so if the VWAP remains bullish, our momentum could continue forward, and that would give our money flow some strength here on the daily. It would be dependent on these lower time frames remaining more bullish. Over on the 4 hour, we are trying to round away, so if we break this range here, we could end up dropping lower. Momentum wants to pull back, stochastic is dropping away, RSI is losing strength, VWAP is breaking bearish, and the money flow wants to round away. If our VWAP starts to favor bearishly, we will see momentum continue to weaken, and that money flow will break down. Over on the 2 hours, stochastic is pushing down, RSI wants to lose strength, momentum is pushing out, VWAP's getting lower lows. If this continues, we will see the bears gain control as we have lower lows with lower highs. If we reject right here, we will see momentum break down, and that money flow could start to trend away. That could end up bringing us lower if we're not careful. Over on the 1 hour, RSI wants to run up with stochastic. This could be a positive bounce. VWAP wants to cross bullish. Money flow is trying to push up with our momentum gaining a green dot and pushing forward due to that VWAP pushing up. If our VWAP stays above this neutral and continues a bullish trend, we could see these lower time frames push us forward. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we did try to come up toward our value area high. We are still overall trending away, and we are trying to reject this point control. If we continue this rejection of this 69K, there's a high likelihood we could break through our 65.5, and we could end up pushing down right around our 60K where our next gap is if we're not careful. Momentum has bearish divergence, RSI wants to pull back, VWAP wants to favor bearish, and our money flow is weakening. This could bring Bitcoin lower. Remember, futures does lead Bitcoin. Over on the 4 hour, we did push up and we got rejected with a long upper shadow. So if we cannot break this value area high here and we continue seeing bearish candles, we will start to reject. Stochastic wants to pull back, RSI is indecisive, VWAP is getting a lower high with a lower low. If this continues, momentum will pull back and our money flow could then flip into a bearish trend. I would watch these lower time frames. Over on the 2 hour, we are starting to get lower highs. If we continue this with straight lower lows, we could create a descending channel. That descending channel could then push us forward, but that would not be anywhere close to a confirmed pattern yet. Stochastic does want to round away, RSI is pulling back, VWAP is trying to break neutral, and the momentum wants to round away with a red dot. If our VWAP breaks down and our momentum pushes down, our money flow will remain more bearish, and we will continue to slide here. Over on this 1 hour, stochastic is starting to push out, RSI is losing strength as a result, VWAP wants to break down, and the momentum is getting lower highs starting to round due to that VWAP pushing down. If that VWAP breaks and our momentum follows, this money flow could then break into the bearish territory, and then that would give us that strength to fill that gap. We could be making a symmetrical triangle here, which is a 50-50 pattern to push us up or down, so it's kind of messy to try and call either. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, we are trying to push down. We did reject that area where we had that cup and handle possibility. We did call this out on the Discord. I would watch very closely though. If we do not break below this like 65K range, there is still a possibility of pushing forward. We will unpack if this cup and handle is possible yet, and if this pattern would still be valid. We're still within it, so it is still valid for the bull flag. Stochastic wants to pull back, our RSI wants to weaken, momentum is pulling back, our VWAP is favoring bearish, and the money flow wants to pull back as well. Over on this 4 hour, you can see we did come up and we are trying to make this handle right here. If we lose this area and we cannot push forward, there's a high chance we could be rejecting. Usually you come up and ran this green candle, that would have been where you expected to break forward, and we got rejected. If we continue to struggle to push above this 68K range, then it's very likely the bears will gain control. Stochastic wants to pull back, RSI wants to pull back, momentum wants to pull back, VWAP is trying to push into the bullish territory, but be warned, we could make a lower high, then create a bearish trend, pulling that momentum and money flow both back out. Over on the 2 hour, we are trying to push against these EMAs and struggling. RSI is overall flat, stochastic's overall pushing down, momentum's overall favoring to the bearish side, pushing down with us, and the VWAP wants to break bearish. Our money flow is also trending in the bearish territory, so if we cannot push over here and break these EMAs, there is a high chance we could reject them and try to break this 300 EMA. If we break this 300 EMA and hold below it, that's where we would see those lower price targets. Over on the 1 hour, you can see this is where that handle formed, and then we pretty much rejected it. If we cannot break this 300 EMA and we start pulling back from it, I would exercise caution. Stochastic's going flat, RSI's flat, VWAP is trying to push into the bullish territory, but we could be making a lower high, so be warned. Money flow is flat, so overall I would watch the next couple candles. Usually you want to wait for the breakout, then a drop down to your neckline, and then a bounce to trade on these cup and handles anyways, not financial advice. Over on graph for the daily, we are overall trying to pull away. We did try to break out of our pattern, so if we can make a bounce here, we could invalidate any bearish momentum. We did also bounce off that support area. RSI wants to pull back, stochastic wants to pull back, VWAP starting to round away from neutral, momentum's overall favoring the bearish side with lower highs and lower lows. With that VWAP, if this continues, that money flow is going to start to pull back. Over on the 4 hour, we are trying to make a pretty solid bounce after trying to get our breakdown. If we can break above our 300 EMA and hold, we do have the bullish possibility. However, if we cannot break above that, we could see lower price action. Stochastic does want to run up, RSI is flat, VWAP is trying to push up. Our money flow does have higher lows and wants to push forward, and our momentum wants to push forward, Our money flow is pulling back, so if that VWAP cannot favor above our neutral, our money flow and momentum will continue to pull back. So watch this VWAP closely. We could have a lower high forming with this lower low that could create a bearish trend to snap us down. But if our VWAP bounces here and continues above neutral, we could see the bulls regain some strength. Over on the 2 hour, we are trying to see our green EMA push that blue, but is struggling to break through. Stochastic wants to head up, RSI is flat, VWAP's flat, money flow is pulling back, and the momentum does want to pull back as well. If that VWAP continues to pull back, momentum will start to sell off, and our money flow will start to drop down even lower, bringing price action lower. Over on this 1 hour, stochastic does want to round, momentum wants to pull back with the red dot, RSI is trying to pull back, VWAP wants to break toward the bearish territory, and the money flow is favoring bearish. If our VWAP gets lower lows, we will see momentum start to sell off and money flow will break down. However, if the VWAP bounces here, we can see the bulls regain strength. Over on ankr for the daily, we did lose this value area high the other day, and we are starting to struggle to break through a green EMA. If we cannot break that green EMA, we could end up breaking this point of control. Stochastic wants to sell off, RSI is going flat, momentum's pulling back, and the VWAP is in the bearish territory, starting to flatten out. If on the lower time frames, our VWAP starts to favor bullish, we could try to push forward here. However, if we're more bearish, we will see this pick up some more bearish steam. Over on the 4 hour, price action is struggling. Stochastic does want to run forward. We do have blue above orange, so the bulls do have control. RSI is remaining bullish. VWAP wants to push forward. Momentum is trying to gain strength, and the money flow wants to remain bullish. If that VWAP can remain bullish with higher highs and higher lows here, we could see our money flow start to push forward and regain some strength here. Over on this 2 hour, stochastic's overall rounded away. VWAP wants to pull back, momentum wants to sell off, RSI is losing strength, and the money flow is picking up bearish strength. If we continue to see our VWAP break down, we could see the bears regain strength and break this support level. Over on our 1 hour, stochastic is rounding with bearish divergence, VWAP's pulling back, momentum's pulling back, so if that VWAP starts to favor bearish, momentum will continue to drop, and that will result in money flow breaking down as well. That would weaken our higher time frames and bring price action lower. So I would exercise caution if we cannot break out of this EMA band here. If we snap below this EMA band, that could be where we get that major trend reversal and the bears gain control. Over on XRP for the daily, we are trying to bounce off this support area. We do have a long lower shadow candle. This could try to push us forward if we get some bullish candles next, and bullish momentum on the lower time frame remains. VWAP does want to push up, momentum wants to gain strength, money flows remaining bullish, and the stochastic wants to run forward. So watch that VWAP closely. If our VWAP and stochastic can continue forward here on the lower time frames, we may break our point control and push forward. But if our VWAP and stochastic reject here, we will see the bears push us lower. Over on this 4 hour, we are struggling with this 300 EMA and starting to lose other EMAs, bringing the other bands lower. If this continues, we could see the bears flip our trend. Stochastic does want to pull back, RSI wants to lose strength, VWAP's pulling back, money flows remaining bearish, and the momentum could pull back if our VWAP gets a lower high and then breaks down back below that zero and gets lower lows. Over on this 2 hour, we are trying to get a pretty solid bounce here. That could be positive, but again, exercise caution. We are struggling with other coins. Stochastic wants to run up, RSI is flat, VWAP's pulling back, momentum wants to round away, and the money flow is starting to reject. If this VWAP continues to push down, we will see momentum continue lower, and our money flow will continue to break down. Over on this 1 hour, stochastic is starting to round away, RSI is losing strength, momentum wants to round, VWAP is trying to break down, and the money flow is indecisive. If our VWAP breaks through this neutral, we could see the bears regain control and then break our 57. However, if our VWAP can stay above this neutral and gain bullish favor, we may be able to push forward and try to break through that 300 EMA and create a new bullish trend. Finally, for algo for the daily, we are overall pulling back. We do have this green below yellow, so that is creating a new bearish cross that could try to push us even lower. RSI is losing strength, stochastic wants to pull away, VWAP wants to break down, momentum is pushing away, and our money flow is losing steam. If our VWAP continues to push down, we will continue to drop away here. Over on the 4 hour, we are getting some very low lows with consistent highs, so this is creating more of a descending channel that isn't more of like a falling channel, not one that you could draw a bullish pattern on. Stochastic wants to push up, VWAP wants to break through neutral, momentum wants to gain bullish momentum, and our money flow could gain strength if that VWAP and momentum continue forward, but that would be dependent on these lower time frames. Over on the 2 hour, we are starting some consolidation after pushing forward that could create a bull flag to give us a reversal and possibly push us to 25 cents. Stochastic is struggling, RSI is going flat, VWAP wants to round away, momentum could start to pull back, and the money flow wants to reject that neutral. Over on the 1 hour, stochastic does want to push out, RSI is flat, momentum is rounding away, money flow is in the bearish territory, and the VWAP does want to break neutral. If our VWAP continues to break down, we will see momentum continue lower, and then our money flow will start a bearish trend, and that could lead to our higher time frames starting to push out. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night.